I was born and raised in a first world country, and I'm probably going to end my days in a third world country. And the sad thing is, it's the same country.
So I see a lot of comments saying that Canada is a third world country now.
I have no idea what the fuck happened in Canada. See, I grew up here. I came from Romania. And I've never seen like homeless camps, but they're in Ottawa, like across the bridge in Gatineau and Quebec side, in like minus 20 weather. There's homeless camps. That's not healthy. Also, obviously, no one can afford a home, and there's like $3 million homes in Ottawa where it's like, why wouldn't I live in the States? But we can't go over it because we have no ways of getting visas other than maybe blowing up on TikTok, and I don't know. And if your housing is too expensive, don't worry. You also can't afford groceries or gas. So you can't afford to go to the store to get yourself some food, but you also can't afford the food in the store. The Mama's 60-cent ramen are always sold out. The cheap soda, no-name brand, just soda, is always sold out. All the budgety broke things are sold out all the time. All the time, not all the times. I don't know why I said all the time, so I'm Joe Bidening my language now. Anyways, yeah, it sucks. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I make a good income, but can't afford anything.
Canada used to be fifth in 2013 for quality of life. Something happened in 2015, and today our quality of life in Canada has dropped to 33rd place in the world. We can no longer call ourselves the best at anything. We are going down.
Canada is now so broke under Mark Carney that they're actually shutting down their post office, delivering mail to your house. Like, that's how fucked Canada is. They are trying so hard to make up their budget shortfall that they are no longer going to deliver the mail. So the Canada Post, which is basically the equivalent to the United States Postal Service, yeah, they're about to lay off thousands of people. Basically anybody who delivers mail to your house, because they decided that they can no longer afford to do that. Like, Canadians, how broke is your country that your methodology to be able to afford all your liberal programs for all your incoming immigrants, because you're not cutting any of those. No, you're going to keep all those programs for the incoming migrants and the incoming refugees, but you're going to cancel mail delivery. So everyone in Canada is now going to have to go to the post office just to get their mail. Yeah. Great job picking Mark Carney.
Right now, Canada's seen the biggest e-migration, which is Canadians leaving,
Yeah, that's what I'm
since
saying.
1965.
82,000 last year. 82,000 people have left.
I want Canada to be what Canada used to be a decade ago, not this third world shithole. I don't recognize it anymore, man. I've just gotten to the point where I'm not going to fix it. There's nothing I can say that'll change it. I've given up. We have a voicemail line. Please call it if you have any advice or if you disagree.
Canada has become a violent third world shithole. If I could give you any advice at all, it'd be to learn how to fight, learn combat skills. You're gonna need them because nobody is coming to save you. The cops already told you they've got other priorities. They'd rather protect politicians than Canadian citizens.
Do you think it's fair for white Canadians to be afraid of becoming minorities?
I think that they should be afraid.
Canada has welcomed a lot of immigrants into Canada. Do you think they brought in too many at once?
In the past, Canada has opened its borders to letting the best of immigration come in. That was a part to boost the economies, but to make the place better and more suitable living place. But now they've just opened the borders and they've just let people come through. I think that personally, if you import third world into your first world country, then the first world country will turn into a third world country. And the whole point of keeping Canada a great place is about making sure it's actually for Canadians. In the next 50 years, this isn't going to be Canada anymore. I mean, you've had millions and millions and millions of Indians come in from India, all on H-1B visas, and then they bring their families coming in, and then they just don't have any respect for the place. As somebody who is born and raised in Canada, I have a lot of respect and patriotism, and I don't want my kids to feel like a minority in what has been built by, brought up by white Canadians that have come here from Europe and brought this place up. Diversity is not a strength.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening whenever you are watching this episode from. So, according to Canadians, they are saying that Canada is becoming a third world country. Yes, according to their confession online, they are saying, in the past few years, they witnessed the highest cost of living in Canada right now. Groceries are super expensive. Commodities and basic needs that a person needs is unaffordable right now. Everything is becoming like a luxury in Canada right now. According to them, the number of immigrants that Canada is allowing in their country every year is making Canada look like a third world country. If you go in Brampton right now, it looks like small India. It looks like a town in India. Canada culture is fading away. The streets are not looking good. The number of homeless people in Canada is increasing daily because of the housing crisis that is literally starting to affect some of these Canadians. They can't afford houses. And all this, when they sum up, they are telling us that no one should ever lie to you. Canada is slowly becoming a third world country, and if we aren't, if they aren't careful with the situation in Canada, then Canada in the next coming few months will be declared as a third world country. Let's watch what the reasons Canadians gave us that really shows that in fact what they are saying is true, and what are the reasons they are saying that Canada is becoming a third world country. Then we shall be sharing our opinions.
So 2 years ago, I mentioned that Canada was being ran like a third world country, in which we were trying to increase our population instead of trying to increase individual wealth to contribute to the tax system that will fund Canada as a whole. If you can't make your people richer, get more people from other countries to pull money from in order to fund your reckless spending. But now we're actually starting to walk into the exploitation side of that third world country mindset. If you look into many African countries such as the Congo or Angola, or many Latin American countries such as Venezuela, many of these countries are rich in natural resources but are poor because they are being exploited. It is called the resource curse. It actually takes two governing bodies to cause it. Governments of other countries who want to access the resource of that country but want to take all their profits outside of said country, and the ruling governments of those said countries who openly allow those external people to extract the resources in exchange for bribes. Canada is rich in natural resources. We all know that. But it seems like everybody except Canadians are profiting off of this natural resources that we have. Look at our major industries. Very few are actually Canadian owned. Many of our natural resource industries is simply extraction, and the processing is sent overseas or to the USA to be processed. In the wood industry, many Canadian mills are shutting down, and a lot of the companies that own these mills that are from the US still want the rights to our lumber and are shipping raw logs down to the USA to be processed. Again, taking our natural resources, giving us minimal profits and reselling us the final product at a much higher cost. Oil and gas, we barely even process any here. And our government refuses to develop infrastructure to start processing things at more efficient rates, so we can't use that excuse anymore of our oil is too dirty to process, forcing us to be reliant on other countries to process our oil for us because we all believe that it's too dirty, while doing absolutely zero infrastructure development or research on how to process these dirty oil more efficiently so we can actually make a profit off of it. Every successful country that uses its natural resources as its main income of their GDP process that natural resource within the country. Out of all the natural resource companies we have here in Canada, look at how many are actually 100% Canadian and not owned by an American with a Canadian branch. We are getting set up to be exploited like every other poor third world country that is rich in natural resource.
Good morning, Canada. What's up? Canada. I woke up with an insane amount of clarity this morning, and I'm just gonna let you guys know. This isn't Canada. This is not the country that I was born and raised in. This is something else. It's anything but Canada now. The fact that I had to listen to fireworks for Diwali until 3 a.m, but we can't say Merry Christmas in our schools or have Christmas concerts anymore. This is not Canada. So I woke up with this dreadful feeling that this is the truth. And I'm gonna just personally, I am going to accept the demise of our country for what it is, because Canada is gone. It's gone. Anything Canadian are our healthcare system, our crime, our immigration, the drug. Like I could go on and on and on and on about how this is not Canada anymore. I am so tired of going on like that. Make us the 51st state, Donald Trump. Let's go. Because none of the people up here know what living is. If you're Canadian, you are not living here. This is no way to live. Half of what you make gets taken from you and given to immigrants. Like, I'm so over it. And as a content creator that's Canadian, this video will probably get no traction. And then you know what happens? You get Canadians attacking me in my own comment section, defending a government that has destroyed our country. Our country is dead. Canada is dead. Freedom of speech is gone. Like, are you guys out to fucking lunch? If you own anything in this country already, you're lucky. If you don't, you never will. Rest assured of that. Time of death of Canada. Canada's time of death. October 21st, 09:27 hours. Canada's dead.
Right now, Canada is taking a massive crap, and yeah, things are just going downhill with this new government, and it's not really new. You know, they've been in power since 2015. Sure, Mark Carney might be new, but yeah, he's been with Justin Trudeau since 2020 as the economic advisor, and look where the economy was anyway. Canadians feel stuck right now, okay? They feel stuck like, okay, this is happening. What can they do about it? They don't feel like they can do anything about it but suffer. You can actually do something about this, okay? You gotta learn, okay? You gotta do this. You gotta pay attention to this. You have to learn how you don't have to make money by being in a job only, but something you can do from home. Let me repeat that, okay? You need to learn how you can make money from home, not from just a job. And eventually that make money from home will surpass the job. Then you can quit your job, and now you have the location and time freedom. Then you can look at the government and be like, you know what? I don't want to be in Canada anymore. Then you can think about leaving Canada and going to a different country where they appreciate the citizens. Personally, I'm looking into this myself. I don't know if I'm going to stay in Canada for the long haul the way it's going. I just hope things change. But if they don't, I have the ability to move.
So I see a lot of comments saying that Canada is a third world country now. And I used to think, you know, this is just a little bit of a dramatic view until I started thinking about it. Now, Canada is not a developing country yet. It's actually still pretty well developed. But the structure that we're facing right now and the transition that we're facing right now has the makings of a third world country. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, let's have a look at a comparison between what we consider to be a first world country and a third world country. You see, a first world country usually increases its GDP and its wealth by ensuring that its people start gaining more money, or by improving its economy to the point where the value of their money increases. And if the value of the money increases, you would actually need to tax your people less, because once you get that money in taxes, you're able to buy things from overseas at a much lower price due to the increase of value in your money. That, or each individual person makes so much more money that you can tax them at the same rate, but you're still ending up with the same amount of money in your pocket as a government. But how a third world country is run is based off of population. You don't need to ensure that your people are developing themselves and making more money. You just need to ensure that you have more people. That is why so many third world countries are overpopulated. Because it doesn't matter if each individual citizen is becoming more rich if you have more people. Even if the people make less money, you can just spread those taxes among more people. Because it doesn't matter whether you tax 10 people $1 or if you tax 100 people 10 cents each, you get the same amount of money back. And as long as you condition your citizens to live a lower standard of living, it's okay. Because if you have people that make less money but are used to a lower standard of living, they'll be okay to live 30 people in one house. And after thinking about that, I started to realize that Canada's structure right now is starting to develop into a third world country. It's not a coincidence that the majority of the people that we bring into this country nowadays are used to a lower standard of living. It's also not a coincidence that we're barely developing any infrastructure for more jobs in Canada, but we continue to grow our population as fast as possible. Again, Canada's not a third world country yet, but if you're like me and you have experience in third world countries, you know exactly where this is going.
So the Canadian national anthem says "True North, strong and free," but what does that even mean anymore? Free? I mean, Canada handed over control of its banking system in the 1970s under Trudeau. I mean, before that, did you know the Bank of Canada financed the Trans-Canada Highway or the St. Lawrence Seaway interest-free? Whereas now the government has to borrow money and pay interest to other people. Fast forward to 2018, Trudeau Jr. gave up complete control of Canada's immigration system. Canada now follows rules of a global body. The official term is replacement migration. Look it up, and it's probably a reason why many Canadians are upset with the immigration policies that we have. Because immigration is no longer about, is this best for Canada? It's more, are we going to hit our global quotas? And strong, I mean, I don't know. The borders are open. I haven't seen clear leadership in this place in a very long time. And the sad truth with Canada is you think you're living in a country, but you're really living in a resource colony. It hurts, but it's true. Canada's got no gold, no independence, and no plan. They surely don't want you building wealth here. They just want you extracting it for someone else's empire. And that's the real Canada. Behind the politeness, behind the flag, behind the anthem, it's not a sovereign nation, it's a managed territory.
The cost of living in Canada is literally creating homeless drug addicts and at an alarming rate. People are losing their jobs, getting laid off, not able to find new jobs to provide for themselves and their families. And as they're becoming homeless, they are turning to substances to numb the pain, to just because they have nothing else to do all day, and because they're just surrounded by it. Like, it's actually insanely scary to me how many addicts I see nowadays just walking down the street. Like, whereas a couple of years ago there was quite a bit, but now it's just like everywhere you turn, everywhere you look, there's an addict, there's an addict, there's an addict, there's a homeless person struggling, and it's just like, it's hard to feel like it's not intentional at this point from the government. Like, what are you doing to your people, bro? Where people are struggling so badly. Like, I know that it's a choice to try drugs, but like, what else are you gonna do when you're homeless and that's all you're surrounded by, when you are being pressured into trying something? It's actually devastating, and something needs to be done. We need more help, more resources for mental health and for addictions. Yeah, my mom is staying in a shelter herself, and she's like, the amount of people who come in and they're fine, they're just struggling financially, they don't have a home, and then like the next week she sees them and they're completely drugged out on crack, on meth, they don't even know what's going on anymore, they're shouting, and it's just like, yeah. Housing needs to be more affordable. We need fucking more free healthcare, more free mental health care, and just more resources. As I said, we need therapists that are available, that are free, that are everywhere, okay? Like, this is getting insane, bro. Fucking insane. And it's just gonna keep getting worse. Lovely, lovely, love it. Thank you, government.
You know, let's just begin with the number of immigrants that are moving in Canada. Clearly, we are seeing it that Canada is allowing in very many immigrants. And when the population of a country increases, it means that the demand of these basic needs we should also increase. But unfortunately, the basic needs that Canadians are in need of, it's not increasing, but the population is increasing. What am I saying? If we allow in more people from other countries, it means that we have to share with them our hospitals, we have to share with them our resources, we have to share with them our houses, we have to share with them anything that needs money. The money that could have been focused on developing Canada, it's now being focused to developing these immigrants. Canadians are even saying that Canada does not love them anymore. Yes, Canada does not love them anymore. In fact, Canada loves immigrants more than Canadians. Canadians are not getting jobs. And apparently, the government is even helping in Canadians not getting this job. What do I mean? The recent example being a report shows that Tim Hortons has been lobbying MPs for the past 18 months so that they can hire in more foreign workers and Indians. Unfortunately, this is to say that Canada is helping Tim Hortons not to Canadian MPs are helping Tim Hortons not to hire any Canadian anymore. And it also means that Tim Hortons won't be able to hire Canadians because they are getting foreign workers who are receiving low wages thanks to the sellout MPs. And these are just some of the situations that Canadians are facing, which they are actually saying that, in short, Canada is becoming a third world country. Land at any airport, you will see, let's say, for example, the Indian immigrants are the one who are occupying Canadian jobs right now. They are replacing Canadians are jobless right now. Canadians have no employment because when you look at a taxi driver, Indian, a truck driver, Indian, a cleaner, Indian, someone working at Tim Hortons, Indian, international student, any work that a Canadian should do is being done by immigrants, Indians, and foreign workers. And these are just some of the many reasons that literally people, especially Canadians, are saying if we are not careful, in the next coming few months, Canada will be declared a third world country. But you do tell me, what are the main reasons if you are living in Canada or if you have ever been in Canada? What are the main reasons that you think are making Canada a third world country? And if you agree that Canada is becoming a third world country, why do you think it's becoming a third world country? Or do you agree that Canada is becoming a third world country? All these people who are commenting, they just don't want to work, and they are saying Canada is becoming a third world country. But according to me, some of them are even stating statistics, their life experience. Some of them have been living in Canada for many years, and they are the ones who are telling us that Canada is becoming a third world country. So the question of the day is, do you think Canada is becoming a third world country? And if so, tell us in the comment section why. Let's engage in this discussion. Subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out in such topics, and see you in my next episode.